Hey, good morning, guys. Coming to you from a crazy angle, and I didn't get anything written in my description, but because I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what we're working on today. So we're doing the 25 days of Christmas projects, and today is my day, and I'm going to be doing some miniatures, and so I wanted you to have a good view, so I'm trying a different tripod situation up, and this can be done with a million different things. I literally have a million small things laid out: pine cones, bells, ornaments, bottle brush trees, jars, tinsel, miniature ornaments, icicles. I have my hot glue gun. I have my E6000 glue, which I went and bought so that I wasn't having to dig it out and try and make it work for today. Ornaments, every little thing that I can think of, because the nice thing is to just sit here and create and not have to go hunt for something because you don't have what you need. And this is just in process, but I'll just show you the one that I made earlier this morning. And this was just kind of a test run to kind of practice. So I started with a spice tin, and this is not probably the most stable because I put the bottle brush tree in and then I added what I'm calling our snow here. And this snow is like almost, I think it's from Halloween, where you make your cobwebs. But I had it in my stash, so that's what I did. And then I put the snow down and then glued on these other little things. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have done all the little things and then went back in with the snow. Couple bells. I have a little Santa ornament. Who knows what that little thing is, and a little bulb in there. And those miniature deer, oh gosh, they're just perfect for something like this. So this was my first go round, and we're just going to move that one back. Then I grabbed, what was this? A craft little jar. And I had gotten a few of these lights. This one has a wreath on it still, and they were lit up at some point, so they were attached, but they didn't work anymore. So I just went ahead and cut it. This ornament is gorgeous, but it was all broken at the bottom of it. So I just went ahead and used that. And then I don't even know where I got this other stuff. So all you're wanting to do when you come up with your arrangement, and here is my E6000 glue I'm using, and it just keeps running out. So I have it so it's dripping on another jar lid. But all you're going to do is just keep adding in things and tucking in things that you have laying around. I do have scissors here as well. And the E6000 glue, it is different than a hot glue gun because it's not going to instantly set up. So if you need something to instantly set up, because we'll see if this is going to tip over, then you might want to use a combination of the two. So I also warmed up my hot glue gun and am using both the hot glue gun and the E6000 glue. The hot glue gun because it's going to set it up immediately. The E6000 glue because I just feel like it is more durable. I could take little ornaments and stick into my tree if I wanted to embellish it a little bit more. And then like I have this broken piece off of a, let me press that in a little bit more, off of a wreath, I think it was. So I could cut each one of these off and stick it into my tree as well. There's really no rules, and nothing is going to be proportional. So I could put a little Santa in here. I could put a big Santa in here. We've got, that is not wanting to stay. We've got our tons of options on what we want to do here. I do have a bunch of these little deer that I just feel like are precious. So we could put a little deer in here, and I was just going to set him there in that glue. Maybe my hot glue is not hot enough because I just plugged it in. It's not wanting to cooperate. which is typically what happens when you're doing something like this and it doesn't want to cooperate. So let's try this one more time. So with the first one that I did, I had that snow in there first, but you don't have to use snow. You can use tinsel. You can use all kinds of things. This E6000 glue actually does come in white. They didn't have any when I looked this last time, but you can get it in white as well. And so then it would kind of look like snow as you're gluing it. So with this one, we could cut some chunks of tinsel and use that as my filler, just so you can't see the balls of glue, so that you can't see every little thing that I'm doing. So I am just going to attempt to, if I hit this tripod, it shakes, I'm sorry. Just try and tuck in some of this garland after I've smeared it in the glue. And what I'm talking about smearing it in the glue, it's dripping and I'm just having it drip onto this lid. And then I'm taking it and literally just wiping off all that stuff that is stuck on the lid. Because even when you're not pushing this E6000 glue, it still is always coming out. So I save every little chunk of tinsel. And then obviously, if you watch my Facebook Live sales, you know that I have a ton of tinsel just for sale. It's good for wreaths. If you make those bulb wreaths, because the bulbs and like the glue and the fishing line and stuff that you use kind of is visible. And so to cover it up, you can cover it with tinsel. But other than bulbs, you could do colored bells as well and stick those in there, something like this, and put around your tree. So hot glue gun is Instastick, but E6000 is probably going to be more durable, kind of like what we talked about the other day with having things sitting in storage over the winter in cold or, fluctuating temperature locations. So now we've got 2 down. Next up, I got this rusty, crusty Prince Albert tobacco tin, and we're going to do another one. So I told you that gold ornament was broken on the bottom, basically just like this one. So it's broken on the bottom, but I saved it because I thought, oh, it would make a cute little tree, right? So far, I have not paid attention to color schemes either, but you could coordinate to the can that you're using, or don't even worry about it and do whatever colors you want. You do have to kind of do something that's going to be tall, and so that's why I've done the lantern, the tree, but you can also, do something tall with maybe some ornaments. And that one is not a good one to show. Here, I'll lay it down for a second. Do something tall with an ornament like that. That would be an option as well. I also have this deer, and we could stick the deer here and do an arrangement behind as well. So really you just have tons of options. I have this little book that's kind of a miniature pre-made, so you could always add it. So I have this little tree. Why don't we start with it? I keep changing my mind. One thing with the spice tin that I used and this one, see how it kind of is concaved there? You kind of have to be careful with that as far as what items you're going to add. So you don't want everything to be the same height, so we need some height variance here. I want to stick them in here. Okay, so we're gonna get a little chunk of this snow, or I think it's actually cobweb stuff, but it like works perfectly. And then we're just going to add some E6000 glue. And then where it's going down the container, it's not that big a deal. You're just gonna cover it up with some snow. This jar. So this used to have brush-on glaze, but it's nice, a red and white, goes with Christmas. Here's where my glue has been leaking, and I definitely want to utilize another lantern this time. I'm going to put it kind of on the side. I definitely want to utilize this broken ornament that looks like a tree, even though it's kind of a little bit different color scheme than maybe what is on the jar. And I'm going to hit it with a little bit of hot glue too, just to kind of make sure it's not going to go anywhere. I do like this little barn scene. Again, we're not worried so much. I'm breaking most of the rules because we're not worried so much about color schemes like I would in decor. And then I'm going to take the wire or nail off of this, and I want to see if I can get it to stick here in the back for us. My glue gun is so, it seems really yellow. And then we can maybe come in here even with some funky vintage greenery. Let's see if I can stab it into that glue. And then you can do the tinsel, you can do the snow. I also have a few icicles here. And then this must go over like a light maybe, but we could tuck that in here. Actually, we might want to put it in the back. Some of the miniatures I have that you would, look how teeny Santa is here. So we could probably put him up here. I could possibly take that off. I think I'm gonna glue our lid on, or our lid or the topper onto the tree, since we just took out the metal thing that holds it into place, and we can use little tiny Santa up there. If we wanted to, we could add a little bit of snow, because I don't know if you noticed, but I got quite a bit of glue. Let's do a little blanket. So I do have, I think this was a drum that somebody made with these pins and this like pieces of glitter. It's just on some styrofoam, so I don't really think we have room for that, but I wanted to show it to you. And then I didn't know if I'm the only one that didn't know you could put these little tin pieces. They have a hole in them, and then you can put it on a pin with a pretty head, and that looks really neat as well. So that's just something, kind of an FYI. Okay, so where are my bells? I think we need something that's got some bling. I've got this greenish colored one that we could use. And I saved this. This is just plastic. I don't even know what it was from, but we could do something like that as well. Tuck that there in place. And I think I'm going to do a smaller gold one up there as well. I'm going to just bending this off to break it because I think it's too long. And I don't think this is set yet, so I might just tuck that in there. We'll see if I can get it to loosen up. Okay, since we added snow up here on Santa, I think I'm going to add snow in around as well. Take this one and add in some glue. Okay, so let's bring it back to the front. And that is number 4. Piece that I really want to use is this one. And this is another option as well. It's like you could literally just glue that to the top and be done with it. And that's just something that I picked up thrifting, or maybe it was on top of something already. So let's utilize that one. So since it's the biggest thing, we're just going to go ahead and start with it. It is always nice when things aren't perfectly centered, but just how this platform is, I kind of feel like we have to center it. And I'm actually scooting it to the top because I want to add a tree back here. And we're going to need some more space if we're going to be doing that. So these have these plastic bases, but you could always take the base off. You can just like pop them out. I'm going to take 2 of these and put them in there. I'm going to add hot glue this time, but take them out and just glue them down without the base. That way they wouldn't need to take up so much surface area. Oh, about needing some glue on my hot glue. And then another thing is that you can, on these ornaments that I'm doing, these are just little plastic things, but what you could really do is cut off the end here so that you had the bulb to glue down. It would be a much more stable surface, I think. And so we've got this one, jar, different scene. Last run that I did, worked one in on all of them. We've got this one on our tobacco.